The Angels suck. Colts are going to suck. I have USC losing 3 games. The ACC is now on the West Coast.
It's a week.
It's Friday.
Friday couldn't come quickly enough, I'm telling you.
Woo. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I guess we'll start with the baseball stuff, get that out of the way. The Angels sold off 5 players. 4 players got of the 7, all but 1 got claimed. 3 went to the 3 went to the Guardians in Lucas Giolito, Matt Moore, and Ronaldo Lopez all went to Cleveland. Hunter Renfroe went to the Reds, and Dominic Leone went back to Seattle. Randall Grichuk did not get claimed, and also Tyler Anderson, who was placed on waivers a couple weeks ago, also went unclaimed. So, right side, they got the money down to where they're not going to get penalized. And if Shohei leaves, the Angels get a round 2 compensation pick. Yippee frickin' Skippy. But it doesn't look good. I've said just trade Trout at this point. He deserves better than what Carpino and Moreno are doing. But we can cross that bridge sort of like when we wrap it up in about a month. But it's been a doozy. 8-17 in the month of August. They went in and bought, and it fell apart basically at the beginning. Doesn't look good for anyone involved. And yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, the problem is like I feel like there's gonna be a lot of backlash against
there won't
Gary
be
for like buying.
There's a lot of
he did what he could with what he was getting.
What I've noticed is the backlash is coming from like the gas bags, where it's like they don't really want to do anything more than surface level stuff, where it's just they kind of like, I think I said in a tweet, like they just want to, what did I say exactly? Like they just play the result. They don't necessarily care about what were my exact words? Something on the lines of like they don't. I went on a bit of a rant here, but it was this is before. Oh, this is what I guess it wasn't like as bad, but I made, what did I say? Where is it? This is what it was. So this was over that was the imaging stuff. I think I talked about that. I forget. Maybe I didn't say anything. Maybe I did. I don't have a freaking clue. I might have. I don't know. I made some sort of comment where it's just like, oh no, I laughed. When the tweet went out a couple days ago, I just laughed. I really had nothing to say. I kind of just laughed. Oh no, I said, Artie played a stupid game and the fans lost. He gets back under the luxury tax and nothing will change. Artie and his team of crooks always win. And then same day I went, in the last 30 days, the Angels have pulled Ohtani out the trading block, traded for Giolito and Lopez, lost Taylor Ward for the season, traded for Cronin Grichuk, lost Trout and half of Ohtani for the season, 8-18 in August, dumped everyone to save $7.3 million. That was in less than 30 days.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of a wild time. And
I would,
the weird thing is, out of all of this, and the horrible thing is
Rendon still here?
Well, yes, that is probably the worst of it all.
I mean, they'll dump. He'll get dumped.
But one of the horrible things is Shohei will probably stay an Angel because the Angels will offer him way more money than any other.
At this juncture, I'm going, and I stand by it. Don't, please, for the love of God, let Ohtani walk. Trade Trout. Flat out release Rendon, And if anyone gets upset, it's like, you can't do anything with that contract. Man, we paid him 4 years to sit on his ass. What's the worst of doing 3? Like, if someone wants to take him from the minimum, fine. And he hurts us, fine, whatever. He's not doing dick all anyway. So I'm kind of over this narrative of like, well, no one's going to take the contract. Nah, we'll just dump him. We're paying him to do nothing anyway. We can pay him not to be here. He doesn't want to be here anyway. So truthfully, let him walk. Like I said, trade Trout, let Ohtani walk. You're better. They're better for it. They don't deserve. No one deserves this hell. No one.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I'm not.
Our nightmare began when Ohtani put out a tweet saying, "I needed to come back. I decided not to sell the team. Aren't you guys all so grateful that I'm staying around?"
Not really. Truthfully, no. I'm
saying. That's when the nightmare began.
But that truthfully, like, am I a bad fan when it's just like, aren't you glad I'm hitting? No, not really. I really prefer it if you were just like, I'm done. Like, and the reason why I'm saying that is like, don't let Carpino, don't let Moreno, don't let any of them, like, don't give them more than they already got, you know? Like, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to Ohtani.
I mean, we talked last week. It was like such a what has already done and Carpino done as the owner and then the president of this franchise?
Nothing.
And if you dare come at me with, well, in 2007 and 2009 they made the ALCS and they had really good teams through about 2010. It's like, yeah, but that was a lot of that was the setup from Disney's management. Like, you know, before Disney sold off to, you know, and they kept, you know, Stoneman around for a while. It's
yeah,
like,
when he had it,
they had some of these good players, and then it was like, or good people, and then it was like,
it kind of
already finally got his chance to start leaving his mark. That's when the Angels started to.
It really fell off. It really fell off once he kind of forced Regans out. That's when it kind of went like down the tubes.
Yeah, I mean, Regans isn't like the end all be all amazing GM, but he was good.
Considering the trade that basically ruined his career was already said, do it or you're fired. I think we kind of underreport that fact a lot of times, that it wasn't the worst trade in Angels history. Wasn't because Regans did it, it's because Artie demanded it. Like, we forget that. That Vernon Wells trade wasn't like a, hey, this would help us. He said no.
Is there any way? I know he's 79. Is there any way we can bring back Bill Stoneman?
I don't think he would. No.
Make him the president of the organization.
No. Like, Stoneman, I didn't like Stoneman, but I didn't like him because he hoarded prospects, and I think that wasn't. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, but that was back in the day when we could be like, look, Sean Figgins can fill every base.
Yeah, but the whole problem is when you end up hoarding prospects, what do you do when then you end up in the same spot where it's like you had with Wood, where it's like, oh, we have no place to put him. We're just going to let him rot. Like, that's the problem. Like, I don't even know how to, truthfully, there's really no right way to fix it.
But there's only one general manager who's ever won us a World Series.
I want you to look at I want you to look at that roster and tell me that roster shouldn't have won a World Series. I'll be the first to admit that team had no right to win a World Series. None whatsoever.
What are you talking about? Troy Gloss was a beast.
He was the only one.
Scott Spezia was a beast.
No, he wasn't.
Scott Spezia was a good power hitter.
No, he was not.
In 2002?
No, none of them were. Like, that's the funny part. If you look at that roster, it wasn't that good. That roster was not as great as as people's like memory wants it to be. It really wasn't that great. Like that lineup. Troy
85.
So in terms of
12 home runs.
Yeah, that's
82 RBIs.
That's really not that exciting.
An on-base percentage of 371, an OPS of 807.
You had the team
OPS plus 115.
You had
a good year.
The team itself was better. I mean, the team composition was more so. It was better than it was better than the sum of its parts. But it wasn't. It wasn't like the greatest team.
The sum of the parts was better than the individual parts.
Yeah, it was. They were collectively, it worked, and that's fine.
But I mean, look, the reason that they won back then, and it's the main crutch of what Artie doesn't understand, was the reason they were able to win in 2002 is because of pitching.
Nope.
I'm not talking about starters.
Pitching.
I'm talking about bullpen.
Bullpen.
They had two of the greatest bullpen relievers of all time.
Bullpen.
But they had two of the greatest bullpen arms of all time.
You want to know what this bullpen was, Mister? Oh, it was a great bullpen.
No. Hold on. Let's just ignore all the other arms.
No. That's you. You don't get to do this.
Hold on. No, I narrowed my point. So
bullpen.
If you're gonna argue back, about Brendan Donnelly or something.
Brendan Donnelly was good.
No.
It was Scott Schoenweiss.
Okay, yeah, but what I'm saying is we were able to trot out most nights. We could trot out Donnelly, K-Rod, and Percival. Two of those guys are two of the greatest bullpen arms of all time.
Yeah, but my point being is like you can't just be like, oh, the bullpen, the pitching was great. No, this team swung its way to a World Series. It's just everything held.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It's fine.
No, what I'm saying is they were able. So, like, let's say against the Giants, for example, they were able to put enough offense out there that as long as they got enough offense to get to the 7th inning with a lead,
I think you vastly.
They were hard to come. But they were hard to come back against.
I think you're vastly. I think you're vastly misremembering how this series went. It was not a good World Series. It was a slugfest.
No, I know, but a lot of those runs came prior to the 8th and 9th innings. If you could get Scott Shields, K-Rod, and Troy Percival out there, it was kind of tough to come back on that.
Well.
I mean, I don't know how this is broken down.
Well, let's see. 4-3, 11-10, 10-4, 4-3, 16-4, 5-6, and 4-1.
Okay, hold on.
We're looking swell in that department.
Hold on.
Yeah, Mister. Hey, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, great. In game, what is this? In game 5, in the latter half, in the back third of the game, 2 runs in the 6th, 4 runs in the 7th, and 4 runs in the 8th. Yeah, stellar back end of the bullpen there, Chief.
You picked out one freaking game in which the Giants scored 16 runs.
Game 6. Okay, that they scored 1 in the 7th and were blanked in the 8th and the 9th, and then of course game 7, we know they only scored 1 run and were blanked.
Yeah, they had one game where they gave up much in the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Game 4. I'm just gonna look through all. Game 4, 1 run in the 8th. This game doesn't
So-
matter.
Okay, so game 1, no runs in the 7th through 9th, but the
Game
Giants won.
3, game 2.
Game 2,
Two
no
in the
runs
8th.
in 7th.
Oh,
or
one run in the 9th. One run in the 9th.
No runs 7, 6, or 7, 7, and 8. I think my point is starting to become a little bit clearer.
No, it's not.
7 through 9, 1 run. Angels won.
They didn't. The whole thing is you
Game
can't.
4,
You can't.
7 through 9,
All I'm
1
saying.
run.
All I'm saying is your assessment of this back end of the bullpen being unhittable isn't true.
I didn't say they were unhittable.
It was good.
I said it was tough to come back when the back end of the bullpen got in. We don't have that right now. We only have one guy that we can trot out there that even then he doesn't shut down offenses, and that's
At
Estevez.
that, so
He's great. Or he's been sorry.
He
he's
was.
been good this year.
He was.
I mean, he's had what one blown save,
I think he's had like 3.
or maybe 2 or 3. Still is doing pretty good. He's not. Yeah, I'm not. Look, I'm not holding up Estevez as like this is the guy. I'm just saying he's been like really decent.
He's 29 of 31.
So yeah, only 2 blown saves.
Both were kind of close to each other, if I recall.
Yeah, I mean, like look, I don't love Estevez. He kind of, who was that? Who was the closer we had in like 2014, 2015? Before we got, what's his face?
We went from, so like the 2010s was Brian Fuentes, and then Jordan Walden for a year, and then,
It was the guy before. Was it Frieri that was?
Yeah,
really bad?
Frieri was good for 1 year, then sucked the year after, and then we got Houston Street.
That's what it was. Let's see.
Yeah, Frieri was great for 1 year and then sucked. And then I think we flipped him for Jason Gurley or something. Like there were a lot, like that was an odd time. That was the budgeting.
Yeah, I mean but that's what I'm saying is like, yeah, it's we've had 2 years of decent closers at least.
Yeah, well,
between Estevez and who's the guy we had
Oh,
last year?
Iggy?
Why am I forgetting his name?
Rossell Iglesias,
Iglesias.
my closer. It was fine.
He was, yeah. I mean, he was able to hold things usually. Okay, Siri decided to start talking.
Nice.
Anyways, but yeah, no, but my point stands. I was fairly right about the 2002 back end of the bullpen being a big portion of why we won the World
I'm not going to argue with you on this.
Look, I don't deny that we had some really good hitting at a really good time in 2002. Like 2002, the story of 2002 was almost going to be Billy Beane Moneyball season 1 wins the World Series.
That's what it really should have been, I guess.
Instead it was the Angels got super hot at the end of the season
And didn't make
blasted
any
through the playoffs
ground.
and won the World Series.
And didn't make any ground, which was remarkable.
Well, yeah, but that was also what was crazy for Oakland at the time. If you remember, Oakland was like really hot at the same time.
Yeah.
It was like, but they couldn't put space between them and the Angels because
No, that's true.
the Angels just kept it going. But that's what I'm saying. The Angels got like
That's true.
extraordinarily hot and then won the World Series. You're right. The bats were there, but I'm saying they would not have won the World Series if all they had was hot bats.
No, I agree.
I'm saying the back end of the bullpen. I'm saying there's 2 key pieces to that World Series, and it was the back end of the bullpen, and then the hitting. But then also, like you still had some good moments from like John Lackey and
Yeah.
those guys. You know, some key players.
But I mean, looking.
I mean, that's all it takes. That's why it's like it would be funny. It's not gonna happen. I'm not actually saying this is gonna happen. This is definitely not gonna happen. But it would be funny if the Angels won out the rest of their games, snuck into the playoffs. This is not gonna happen. And then it'd just be like, oh, this is not a team that should have won the World Series, but somehow they got hot at the wrong time.
Right time, yeah.
Right time for us, wrong time for everybody else.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna happen. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you make it to the playoffs.
No, I mean that's really what should have happened, but they went 8-17, which I don't even know how that happened.
You know what I think Artie should do if he's gonna keep owning this team?
Fire everyone in the executive offices.
Well, I mean, I've made that point before. That's not the only point. I want him to fire John Carpino.
He won't. I know he won't.
I know.
Which is so.
I'm just saying what I want.
Which is
but
so
he should
stupid.
Fire John Carpino and promote Perry to president of baseball operations.
No, bring in somebody new.
No. Perry is
No.
the president and the GM. Yeah.
No.
Works for the Dodgers.
They don't. Andrew Friedman's not the president and GM.
Well, didn't they have a president and GM for a while?
No, they never did.
They were decent.
No.
Yeah, I could have sworn.
No, Andrew Friedman. Andrew Friedman's been president of baseball operations. When he got there, it was the guy for the Giants was the GM, and now it's Brandon Gomez is the GM. But I think they use him as like it's just Friedman's like the voice box. But no, Friedman's never been actually like.
It's just maybe I was just conflating Magic Johnson since he's one of the owners and he was the president and GM of the Lakers.
I don't know.
No, I guess what's his name was GM, right? What's his name that's GM now?
Oh, Pelinka,
but I think Pelinka is now president and GM.
I think so. Yeah.
So.
It was Friedman.
And that's worked out well, so that's what I'm saying.
I think
knows basketball,
I think it's different because for baseball, you're better off having two guys that know the game in different ways and having that go about than one guy who can call all the shots.
Yeah, well, I mean, really, what needs to happen is Artie sells the team, and
I'm assuming that's not happening.
A whole new world.
Well, that's really what should have happened. That's what we were going into thinking, oh, it's one more year. We got a new owner. Next year, it's going to be a whole new thing. And then it was just like, nope, already got cold feet because he didn't want $3 billion. He wanted more. And now we're here and people are chanting, sell the team. And he doesn't want to hear it. But he hasn't. Yeah. But the whole thing is, it's as you know, Locked On has said, our friends over there, as they have said, you've done nothing. Like, you've made it worse.
Significantly.
What they pulled in the last 30 days, like, as much as like some guys are like, yeah, you know what? At least it's smart. You're trying to like at least salvage something, but it's like, no, you went above it for 29 days. It didn't work, and you literally just pulled the ejection cord. And cool, you saved $3 million. Now what?
Yeah.
So.
No, it's definitely a problem. I mean, that's the problem. That's why I said the problem is a lot of people are gonna, and I think already included to some extent, are gonna blame Perry, when really what it is already saying, here are your constraints. It's
I don't think it's necessarily here are your constraints. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go that far.
Here's what I feel like what he's done to every GM, over the past, I mean, his entire time here, but let's say since Jerry Dipoto left, what he's done to both Epler and Perry has been.
You can't compare it. You can't compare the ineptitude of Billy Epler.
I agree. Look, the Mets have shown that
Billy Epler's an idiot.
Is not competent. I agree, But what I'm saying is Epler also only could make the moves that Artie signed off on.
Yeah,
That's
but
how Artie's whole MO is, and so the problem.
That's how it is for every team, though.
That kind of behavior, but that kind of behavior is basically saying, here, let me shackle your legs together. Now you go run 100-meter.
But the difference is that's every owner. It's not an Artie thing. Every 99% of GMs have to report what they want to do to the owner for final approval.
I agree, but like Artie's whole, not every owner is going, I only want you to sign the.
It's going more.
Turners,
it's more.
Josh Hamiltons and the
it's
CJ
more.
Wilsons of the world.
It's more than you think. It may not be reported, but it's more than you think. There
Just
are.
Saying,
are there?
Look at Dipoto now that he's not in Artie's.
Yeah.
That's
not. But even Dipoto. But even Dipoto.
Dapoto's great, but Dipoto likes to waste to a farm, but like he's able to do a little bit more with money than he was.
He hasn't really spent money. He hasn't really spent money in Seattle. He signed.
But the money he's been allowed to spend hasn't had to all be like. The problem is Artie wants to go for the Rendones of the world when he should be going for. Wasn't there a picture that we were going?
It was Garrett Cole, but he didn't want to pay. He didn't want to match the Yankees offer for Cole, which was $240, somewhere in the same ballpark, like $245, but for a pitcher for 7 years.
But think of how that would have gone. Then if we,
I mean, yeah, but the whole thing is,
we would have our ace.
But the whole thing is,
in the ballpark right now.
Yeah, but the whole thing is like when you're playing the game of hindsight here, where it's like, okay, then you got Garrett, Garrett Cole, Garrett Cole, Garrett Cole and Ohtani would have been better, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Out of all the major signings in the past. I'll give him in his entire tenure. There's only been one big pitcher that he's ever signed who flopped.
Who flopped?
That's made him.
CJ Wilson didn't flop.
He wasn't great like he should have been. Like
CJ
he was.
See, I don't agree with that assessment, and I never have with CJ. CJ was a 2-3 guy. That's fine. So.
But we brought him in like he was supposed to be our ace.
Yeah, that's not anyone's fault. I'm
putting that more on Artie. I think Artie felt like CJ didn't perform up to the expectations, which probably were unrealistic, and it has made him afraid to sign any more pitchers since then, like any other major pitchers. Look at every time we've had a major pitcher on the free agent market, you hear inklings of the Angels are talking, but then it's always the Angels lowballed.
Well, the last time, with like Ray, the Mariners literally swooped in and just offered him a contract before they even met with the Angels. So that's not on Artie. That's just Dipoto being like, yeah, you're not getting him. I'm taking him. And it's like, well, that worked out. I mean, and it worked out for us. But like, I don't think you can make that assessment. Be like, he doesn't sign these guys and lowball them when it's like. Look, we got it. When you do it, you get Tyler Anderson, who's
every time I try to come down
sucks.
on Artie,
you
defend him.
I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, like, okay, past history. All right, let's look at recent history. Okay, it was Robbie Ray who won the Cy Young. They were linked. The Angels had a meeting. Dipoto said, "Hey, I'm gonna offer you." I forget what his deal was, 5 years, 75 or something like that. And he said, "Deal." That's not on Artie. That's all I'm saying. Is if you want, you can. I agree, he's an idiot.
Yeah, but I'm saying in that case,
your mic's gone. But like, you can't. That's not his fault. Nope, still not there.
I'm seeing.
I'm not here. I can't hear it.
My thing's lighting up.
Maybe it's this. Talk.
Hello.
You're really quiet.
Hold on.
I don't know why. It just like went out.
Can you hear me now?
You're echoing. I don't know what you did.
Anything.
I don't know. It's like going and it's like it's dropped. I don't know what happened.
Hello.
I don't know what you did.
Hello.
I don't know
Hello.
I don't know what I hear you, but it just sounds muffled. I don't know what happened.
Here, let me do a quick little recording, and then I can hear what it sounds like on my end.
I can't describe it. Like you're talking into a sock.
Let's see.
There, now it's fine.
Now it's fine?
Now it's gone. But it like went right for that like half second. It was fine. This is what we deal with.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Okay, check.
You're coming through. It's just for whatever reason, it's just really, really quiet.
Well, I know. I'm gonna listen for myself to see what it sounds like.
This is what I deal with.
Oh, that did get really echoey.
Yeah.
Why am I so echoey?
I don't know.
On the right thing. Can you hear me now?
I could hear you. You just sound really quiet.
Check.
And I have I have you up all the way.
This is gonna be a great part of the podcast where I sit here and go check.
You were fine, and then I don't know. It might because like I haven't touched anything. This guy.
I sound fine on my end.
I don't know. Maybe it just like went at my ears. I don't know. It's fine.
Anyways,
I don't know. You
as long as you can hear me, we'll see what it sounds like at the end. I guess
I can turn you up in my headset, but it's like, what happened? The volume just went. It just like sunk.
You could turn. What does it look like on OBS?
You're the same. No, you're the same in OBS. I don't know if it's just like. What, I don't
Must be your headphones because
maybe
everything seems fine on my end.
I don't know. Whatever. All right, let's just switch over to football.
Let's just start off with the ACC stuff and get that out of the way.
I don't care.
You don't care about
I think
it?
it's funny that they're on both coasts now. I mean, great for Miami that we get to see the good old rivalry of the Miami Hurricanes and the Stanford Cardinals. Who doesn't love that?
Did you notice Miami beat Miami 30-3?
Oh, Miami, the Miami Hurricanes beat Miami of Ohio.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Or
Miami of Ohio. What was funny about that was Miami of Ohio's quarterback talked up a funny game.
Oh, good for him. Now, so going last night, I think both of us watched the
Utah
Florida game. What a difference that game was from the year prior.
Yeah.
But I mean, they didn't have Anthony Richardson, so I don't know how much that plays into it.
I was gonna say, I was listening to the radio today, and Utah's old coach does the radio. Well, he doesn't do the radio, but he gets interviewed on the radio show around here. His name's Coach Mack, and he was like their long-term coach, like through the 90s, I think, into the early 2000s. But he was saying he just before the game yesterday, he got a text from a guy who is who's like involved with like Florida football, and he said don't worry about blah blah blah. You know, I forget the quarterback's name for Florida.
Oh yeah. He did not have a good game. Yeah, Mertz did not. Mertz, whatever his name is. He did not have a good game whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it was not a great game. I mean, interestingly enough, he did have a 137 quarterback rating.
Did he really?
Yeah, the problem was, he was 31 for 44. 333 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Problem was on like key drives he just stalled.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so he just but it was just like no, he just didn't do very much to.
Yeah,
but yeah, anyways, the guy told Coach Mack, he said, "Yeah, no, he sucks." Don't worry about the game. Basically, is what he said.
I think it's it's sort of hard because like looking at it, like, because we know like Utah and USC should be like fighting for that like spot again, but it's really
watch it be Oregon State.
I mean Oregon or Washington State.
Oregon State.
Why Oregon?
No,
State?
Oregon State.
Why Oregon State?
Oregon State's projected to have a pretty good year.
No, well, I mean the top 3 projected are SC, Utah, and Oregon, and then Washington State are like the top 4. But it's hard to gauge like USC versus like versus like Utah right now. I think next week will be a more interesting test for Utah. But
against Baylor,
yeah. But and I mean, then comparing like, you know, USC's kind of like out of the gate start versus
that game versus Baylor
versus you know SC taking on San Jose State, which you and I were talking about, and you and I had a very we had a difference of opinion on how that one went down.
That offense looks amazing, but that defense is...
It's the same thing with Gritch, and I don't know why people defend him. Because, like, I have a friend who has sources, and he's like, oh, Gritch is good. You just got to trust the players. And I'm like, I heard it from Oklahoma guys that this guy's kind of, like, not great. And it's sort of... It kind of veered its head, because I know that line has been improved, and I'm like, I don't know if it was just... Week 1 because the quarterback's crafting, you know, he's one of these like 6th-year senior guys who can just, you know, he can see things a little better, but it didn't look good. And hopefully they look better tomorrow, but it did not look good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that defense it was pretty sus. Sus. You know what? One game I am going to be watching out for tomorrow is Colorado and TCU.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one because
I'm interested to see if Deion Sanders can really just turn that program around.
Well, I made the comment and I said I have USC losing 3 games and I have like Colorado circled because. And I said my big thing was, despite like what they probably are, I go, all Deion has to do is get them to play like extremely well for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And that could happen. So that's what I got circled. So we'll see. It, like I said, it didn't really look, that defense did not look good. It got better as the game went on, but I don't know if it was just the quarterback, them not really having, because of how they practiced, first game jitters. I don't know. It seems to happen a little bit with the teams, but then they pull away. So I guess we'll see how they do against Nevada tomorrow and kind of gauge it from there. And then league play starts. So we'll see, but it might be, I don't know. They don't have their first bye weeks on until after Utah. So it's going to be a drag for a minute.
Yeah, I'm just excited to watch BYU play tomorrow.
Who's BYU playing tomorrow?
Sam Houston.
There you go.
It's their first year as an FBS football team. So
there you go.
We'll see how that one goes. But
with what is it? What do you guys have? You have Kevin Slovis, 7th year senior.
Keaton Slovis,
7th year man.
Failed? He's
failed USC product.
Failed. He had a good year at USC and then an okay year at USC. The problem with Keaton at USC wasn't so much being bad. It was Jackson Dart was much better prospect.
Yeah, and Jackson Dart left too. So how does that work out for both of them?
Well, yeah, because neither of them is Caleb Williams.
That was before Caleb Williams.
Both are good quarterbacks. And I think Keaton Slovis's problem at Pitt was not him. I think it was more the offense. He didn't really do a good job selecting a school that would highlight his skills.
Yeah, BYU is like an air
BYU should be a much better. because they'll air out the ball a bit more, which is probably more his style. And they also have Aiden Robbins, who was UNLV's running back last year, but he's looking like he's going to have a really good year. And so if Aiden Robbins can do some good running, it'll give Keaton Slovis time, which if you give Keaton Slovis time, that was what his freshman year at USC was he had time and he could find his man. So
yeah.
No, I'm actually, I think BYU, honestly, like I know this sounds just like a homer thing of me to say. I think they could surprise people this year. I'm not saying they're going to like shake, I'm not saying they're going to be contending for a Big 12 title by any means, but they'll be, I think for the most part, they'll be in almost every game they play.
Is it one of those things where you're kind of like get bowl eligible?
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset with 6-6. I personally have them going 7-5. Most, like, the Athletic has them at the bottom of the Big 12. I have them go more like 7-5. Getting.
I was gonna say, like, is bowl eligibility sort of where you are?
That's kind of all I need right now because our defense last year was super bad. But if Jay Hill can come out, he's their new defensive coordinator, if he can come out and show that, like with the right recruits, he'll be able to make that defense really good, then I could, at least have hope for a couple years from now for BYU to, maybe make some noise. But, BYU, I have them winning. Win. Win, loss, win. So 4 out of their first 5 games. And then loss, win, loss. So probably 6-6, yeah.
Bowl eligible, baby.
But the reason I would say I could potentially have them going 7-5 is because I could see them upsetting either Texas or Oklahoma.
Bolt.
Not both necessarily. I mean, they could, but
I said bold. I mean, I guess anything can really happen.
But that's the thing is BYU back in I think it was 2014 they beat Texas when they definitely shouldn't have. But that was also they had Taysom Hill as their quarterback and Texas didn't know how to handle Taysom running all over them.
Yeah.
But I could just see just one of those games being one of those games where it's like,
it's a trap.
Oh, Texas is going to win this. And then it's like BYU comes is in the game till the last drive and then has the ball and wins on the last drive.
If they're at home, I guess I can't really see them beating them on the road.
They're playing Texas on the road, but Oklahoma's coming here on the 18th of November.
Yeah, maybe you got Oklahoma at home. Maybe.
And maybe Oklahoma's not as good as the AP thinks they're going to be.
A lot of it's returning, but I mean, I guess anything's possible.
So we'll see. We shall see. But no, Pac-12 probably in its last year. So we didn't really talk as much about the ACC as I probably would have liked. I honestly, I'm like, my tweet was, this doesn't really make sense for Cal, Stanford, or the ACC.
No, it just keeps
It makes sense for SMU because for SMU it's their only ticket to the big dance.
Yeah, I don't know because now it's just
it doesn't make sense for Cal, Stanford, or the ACC. Like the only reason it's happening is money.
Yeah, it's money and security. And then I guess it leaves Oregon and Washington State.
Cal and Stanford are coming in. I think they're starting at a 30% cut.
Yeah,
of the ACC revenue,
which is
big. But it's big for the ACC. And then SMU, did you hear what they did?
What do they do?
They're not taking any revenue, any TV deal revenue for 9 years or something. I think it was either 7 or 9 years.
Why is that?
Because they were like, we just want to be in the ACC.
We just want to be here.
just let us in.
Right.
We just want to be in a major conference. And so it's like,
okay,
they are literally not going to take revenue. And I mean, they'll probably get advertising of some sort. And then there's also there's other portions to the deals that they'll be able to get. But But anyway, so it's just like it doesn't really make sense for anybody but SMU.
Yeah, I mean, hey, whatever works for you.
But no. Hey, so the Pac-12 is in there last year probably because Cal and Stanford are now gone. And now the thing I think that sucks and all that, I think the other thing I want to talk about, the thing that really sucks is Washington State and Oregon State are two very good football.
They're good mid programs.
Yeah, I mean, I think
They'll
they
run
deserve.
the Mountain West.
I think they definitely deserve to be Power 5 status, and they're going to likely end up in the Mountain West. Which I think, in a lot of ways, they both fit the Mountain West.
It's
mold.
Unfortunately where they belong, and they'll run it.
I mean, they're gonna run the Mountain West. Yeah, it's gonna be a 3-way competition between Washington State, Oregon State, and Boise State,
yep.
and then occasionally throw Utah State into the mix. But
yeah, that's where they're going to probably go. Which is, I mean, hey, it is what it is. But they'll run it. They'll probably get into a pretty decent bowl game as an at-large bid. But like, they're not going to get Rose Bowl eligibility or anything. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying is like Oregon State right this year has like a program that can at least compete to be in the Pac-12 championship game, but the next year they don't have a home right now. I mean, they'll probably, like I said, they'll probably settle things in and it'll
probably be the Mountain West.
If it's not the Mountain West, it could. I've seen some people suggest they go into the Big 12. And then the Big 12 makes the deal with the current Pac-12 to buy all their assets, so like they could have their own Big 12 network and rework the Pac-12 network to actually be something.
Maybe, but I don't think it's worth saving. But it's not worth saving. Yeah, because the way that network is like. I think Arizona State was playing, and like I couldn't watch that game, so it's like regionally locked, which doesn't make any sense. Like if it's
but they could make their own. If they owned it, they could make their own deals and say, "Hey, ESPN, can you right now ESPN is going to be losing." Works. But right now ESPN's going to be losing the whatchamacallums, the Longhorns network.
Yeah, but that network wasn't. That network doesn't really count, though, does it?
The Longhorns network. I mean, it doesn't count towards the Big 12. But I'm saying like that ESPN loses that altogether, and so you could say, well, hey, we'll sign up, because part of the deal with the Pac-12 expiring is that contract with the Pac-12 network, like with all its current partnerships, is also expiring. So you could set up we'll do a deal with you if you guys want to bring in you guys want to help us run it, and then we'll let you stream all the games on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, maybe.
Make it a little easier for everybody to watch, but then also you still get that old school setup. But anyways, so I've seen that. I'm not saying I personally wouldn't mind Oregon State as somebody as a person with a team in the Big 12.
I mean,
I wouldn't mind seeing them, but I'm guessing you're right though. It's going to be a Mountain West thing. I personally could see, and I think I said this in my tweet earlier. I personally could see the Mountain West converting itself into the Pac-12.
Yeah.
And saying, because right now all the Constitution, all the NCAA Constitution stuff is the Pac-12 is a major power conference, and so they could get like some guaranteed stuff, and then the SEC would probably be really quick within a year or two to be like, no, that is not the case anymore.
Could you imagine a Rose Bowl where it's USC out of the Big 10 and like Arizona State out of the Pac-12? Could you imagine?
Well, Arizona State
But
Arizona
San
State
Diego,
wouldn't be there.
San Diego
You're talking,
State.
yeah, no,
Like San Diego State or something.
USC
Like,
versus San Diego State or USC versus Utah State.
Yeah,
That'd
could you
be crazy
imagine
stupid.
like how I would personally love it because I just love chaos, but I mean we'll see. All right, anything else you want to add? Because I am cool with calling it there if we want to. Going for 50 minutes or so. Have a little shorter one. We've had short ones in a while.
No, yeah, I was gonna say I'm excited for the college football season. NFL's coming up too, so that'll be
first NFL game I want to say is Thursday, right, on NBC.
Hey, you know what's coming back once the NFL comes back?
Red Zone.
Our Pick'em.
Oh yeah,
our Pick'em competition.
Do you want to do that online this year?
Is there like an online thing?
Yeah, you can do it on Yahoo. Do Yahoo Pick'em.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, we'll look into that.
Do you want to get like I was thinking about this. Do you want to get like CJ and maybe Scott involved, and we do like a little make it a little more interesting than just us two?
I mean, what's more interesting than just us two?
I don't know. They could have someone be a loser.
I mean, we'll see. Yeah, although we'll see if Scott would be willing to.
CJ would be. You can just be CJ. You can have CJ, but I just want to make it a little more fun. I don't know. That'll be. We
always tried to do me, you, and whatever guest we occasionally got on.
And I'm just like, I guess I could see if Tim wants.
And when
to
we do CJ, next time we have CJ on, we can introduce him as CJ, host of I forget what his podcast is called, but
he has a podcast.
Yeah, you didn't see? He started his own podcast.
Wait, what?
He took a page out of your book. How have you not known this?
Dude, my Twitter feed is...
By the way, in my work...
Hold on.
In my work fantasy league,
I'm asking.
I drafted Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback. Because I'm banking on a comeback year from Aaron Rodgers. Let's see, where is it? He has a podcast.
He just told me, he said he has an NBA one.
Yeah, exactly. Learn your stuff. The initial NBA, that's what he calls it.
Oh.
So we'll introduce him. CJ Initial, host of The Initial.
Oh, is that what it's called?
It's it's called the Initial NBA show. So next time we have CJ on, we'll go CJ Initial, the host of the Initial NBA show.
Oh,
how you doing, CJ? I'm just kidding. I've actually thought about starting a BYU driven podcast. Mostly because whenever I'm on Twitter, I feel like I'm the only slightly sane person when I talk about BYU or Utah. Everybody else that talks about it is kind of like, BYU is horrible. And then BYU fans are like, Utah is horrible. And it's like, no, neither of those things are true.
Both are. All right. Well, that'll be fun. We got, like I said, and if we get our fantasy league draft is tomorrow. Yippee freaking skippy. I'm smack dab in the flipping middle, so I'm pissed.
I'm going to have 3 teams.
Yeah, I saw that. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm going to have to manage 3 teams. And then also Abby's in our league.
And then her family league, right?
And her family league. And typically I help Abby. So it's like I'm managing 5 teams.
I was going to say, I'm like, you get the benefit of 2 teams there, huh? I'm Slugger.
Anyways, no, yeah, it's 2 shots at the title basically for me, because when Abby inevitably wins our league, I'll be like,
that's what I had with Sabbath.
I'll be like, guys, it was really me.
That was what I had with Sabbath. I kind of had like a team and a half.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, we'll see you guys, I guess, all next week or something. I don't know.
Bye, guys.
Bye.